show. It is Friday, and it has been a minute, I feel like, since we've had a Friday show.
It's been a minute since we've had a Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday. Yeah.
We love our friends at Helpful Hondas.
We do, thanks.
Well, even when we're not doing a Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday show, we're still out and about admiring all the wonderful Hondas.
Oh, yeah. I mean, every time I drive by a Honda, I'm like, wow.
Helpful! I just scream helpful.
You're very helpful. You were extremely well helped. Welcome into the pre-show before the free show. I'm Greg. That's Ashley. Mallory's not here. Your roommate's not here. Your other roommate's here, Ava.
Yes, Ava is here, but it's just Ava and I all weekend. 4 whole days.
Yeah. You're batching it.
Mm-hmm. Which is what we do here at the Batch Pad.
True. The reason that this house is empty, with the exception of the cat, is because Mallory she's the maid of honor in a wedding coming up here in a couple weeks.
No, the wedding's in June.
Coming up here in
a couple months.
That is a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's March.
In the grand scheme of things,
like
compared
15
to
weeks.
the Big Bang, it's a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's true.
No, in June.
Well, and they've had a semi-long engagement, I think, like a year and a half or 2 years. So, a couple of weeks, all things considered.
So she is at a bachelorette party. Mm-hmm. She's at a bachelorette party.
She's throwing it.
Bachelorette weekend, basically.
Yeah.
And that then leads me to ask you, recently engaged, soon to be married, again, soon relatively. It's not until January, but do you have plans for the final pickle party?
The final pickle party. Yeah, so it was funny because as soon as I asked people to be my bridesmaids, their first question was, what are we doing for the bachelorette party? So I feel like that says a lot about the people that I surround myself with.
The people in your orbit that I've met, that feels like they're not like, what's your wedding colors going to be?
Yeah.
It's going to be like, where's the booze?
Yeah, literally, that was the first question out of every single person's mouth. So that is telling. Yeah, so this is very on brand. So everything that's revolved around the wedding, I've been very focused on trying to make it like the most us thing as possible. Like, I think it's fun when people kind of personalize.
Who's us? Like you?
Me and Brian. Obviously, this one being the bachelorette party would be just a me thing.
I don't want that to involve Brian.
No, and he does not want that. He does not want to know anything. So my ideal bachelorette party that I have realized is just absolutely not going to be able to happen is I really wanted to go down to the 210 and I wanted to spend a day at Six Flags and I wanted to go to a Spurs game. Okay. That was like ideal scenario. Here's the issue. I'm a little busy on Friday nights for 17 weeks of the year.
In fact, busy.
And I can't really leave after the show on a Friday night and drive 5 hours down to San Antonio and get the most out of like a bachelorette trip. I thought about it. It's not going to happen.
Best possible situation it would be you could be in San Antonio at 3 a.m. Saturday morning.
Yeah, and that's just not.
And then you got to be back at your computer 8 p.m. Sunday night.
Yeah, exactly. Literally. And so it's like, that's not obtainable. So here's the issue with that. The only time that I could do it is either August, which no one wants to go to Six Flags in August. It is so hot. Also, the Spurs are not playing. Or probably that first weekend of January, which is when it's looking like it's going to be the literal only weekend that it can happen because the next Friday is the semifinal Cotton Bowl game, and the following Friday is, the Saturday's the wedding. So I think it's going to be that first weekend of January. The issue there is if the Spurs were home, Six Flags is not open in January. So there's literally not a single time that can work.
Okay, so we know that's what it's not going to be.
Yes. So I think our fallback plan has morphed into New Orleans.
That's your fallback?
Yeah.
What a fallback.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes, exactly. That's what it was like, okay, yeah.
And maybe the Pelicans will be in town.
And our wedding is incredibly local for 90% of the guests, so I don't feel bad asking for like a little bit more of a travel thing for a bachelorette party. Because if you're going to have like a destination wedding, probably have your bachelorette party like around home base. Okay. Doesn't have to be at least drivable. Because if not, you're asking people to pay for a lot. I mean, a lot, especially with the destination wedding. So it was like, our wedding is super local for most everybody, so I don't feel bad asking, like, hey, also New Orleans is a super easy drive. 8 hours right there. If anybody wants to fly, they can fly. Okay. But that's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Yeah.
I love NOLA.
Okay.
Big NOLA gal.
Sounds good. Can I come?
I think that defeats the purpose. I also don't want you having ammo being our officiant. I feel like that stuff just needs to be left out of when Granny walks down the aisle. Actually, Granny's fine. But
Granny's going to be like, hell yeah.
How many hurricanes you get?
Because here's what I have to do.
It's more Brian's family that probably just doesn't need to know that much yet.
Because what I need to do is I need to acquire a mole within your bridal party.
Mallory's lips are sealed. Yeah, I trust her with my life.
I do not. I know I'm not getting anything from Mallory.
Yeah.
That is a known commodity.
You're not getting from Aspen either. She's big, don't spill.
Okay. I feel like I can charm Aspen.
Maybe.
She's
more likely to get in trouble than I am. So
that is true.
So like anything that I would do would be like subpar to what she would be doing.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna work on this because I'm gonna need intel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to do my research.
I won't say names, and not that anybody would know, but there was a girl that I was not a friend with, but an acquaintance with in college. And she just went on her bachelorette party, and some of the things that were posted were not things that I would want to be posted. Nor were they things that I would do in the first place, but there were more so.
I view a bachelorette or a bachelor party as like in the same way that when we go do the cover shoot.
Yep, it's radio silent.
Remember, I tell everybody, I'm like, guys, phones are off, phones are away. Like, you can have your camera out.
Yes.
For that, and Will can have his camera out for, like, social stuff. But that's going in the archives.
Yep. And so that's what I said. I looked at Mallory and I were sitting there watching some of the stories that were being posted, and it was like, oh, my God. Like, oh, my God. I guess she just doesn't have a job that she's got to worry about, you know. So I don't anticipate any of that tomfoolery happening. But if it did, absolutely no cameras.
Guess we'll find out. Hit the theme expo. Pickle! Hit the arrow sign. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas. Nope, that's not it. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Bachelorette Pad in an undisclosed location.
There we go.
That is not Lewisville, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, no, I don't live in Elville. Used to live in Elville. Don't
That's
anymore.
Right, you did. You used to live across from your all-time favorite bar.
The Chill.
It's Texas Football Today, a show that definitely knows where we are.
I don't even know what day it is.
My name's Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football magazine, TexasFootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live, TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, yes. Or you'll listen to the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local, mediocre internet show. I'm sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. She's the Duchess of the Dorks, Miss 305, Miss 956, Miss 915. Celebrating International Women's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Dale.
Ashley Pickle. Yeah, happy Women's Day.
I sent you that tweet from Pitbull this morning.
That was from like 2012.
Yeah, it's a while ago, but do you want to read it?
Yeah.
It's better if you read it.
Yeah. Well, and it's because that's a lyric in one of his songs. Hang on, let me find it here. He sent out a very nice one today about his mom.
Okay.
But here it is. Happy International Women's Day to all the sexy, powerful, sassy, classy women over the world. Dale.
Getting a phone call right now from a coworker. I'm just gonna send him.
Send him a picture.
I'm gonna send him a picture from a coworker, a long-time coworker.
We kind of do a show at this hour every single day.
There we go. Perfect.
No, today Pitbull tweeted out a really like heartfelt thing with a bunch of pictures of like his mom and his grandmother's. Like I guess he was raised by a single mom, and so it was like a really heartfelt one. So he's come a little ways in the years. He's aging.
You're asking what day today is? Today is Friday. March 8th, 2024, 265 days till Thanksgiving. Happy birthday to, born on this day, still alive, presumably. We'll find out. Today is the birthday of, nobody I've ever heard of. This is a me problem. Freddie Prinze Jr. is 48. Oh.
I think our buddy Mike Alexander's birthday is today. From Mike from Bally.
Yeah. And today's James Vanderbeek's birthday. James Vanderbeek's 47. My
I don't
wife
know who that is.
Probably Dawson from Dawson's Creek.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen it.
It's that's my wife's Gossip Girl.
Oh, okay,
yes.
Awesome. Solid. I can get behind that.
There's a funny James Vanderbeek story I can tell you off the air.
Okay.
It's episode 1742. On today's show, folks, we're going to hear from Stephen Mackey, who is the character coach that the THSCA has partnered with in a variety of things. He was the keynote speaker, one of the keynote speakers at the THSCA Leadership Summit. We'll hear from him. And then back half of the show, it's Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday. We're answering your questions about high school football, college football, recruiting, lifestyle, romance, travel, anything you got. Let us know in the comments, Facebook, YouTube. We'll get to as many as we can coming up here at the back half of the program. Do we first work through the door?
We sure do. It was TJ Hudson, Rhonda Hudson, Ed McElroy, and Matt McSpadden. Welcome in, fellas. Also, if you have any questions for Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday, go ahead and drop them in the comments.
Okay. That good?
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah, I think so.
Last week, we were at the THSCA Leadership Summit in Arlington and caught up with a number of luminaries, including Stephen Mackey, our friend Stephen Mackey. I've known him for a long time from 2Words, a character coach there that's partnered with the THSCA. He was one of the keynote speakers at the THSCA Leadership Summit. Here's our conversation here on Texas Football Today.
Greg Tepper, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and TexasFootball.com here at the THSCA Leadership Summit in Arlington, here with the man of the hour, the man of the power, Stephen Mackey. Mackey, what's up, dude?
What's up, brother, man? Great to be here with you, man. Glad you guys are here.
Yeah, happy to be here. And you just got off the stage giving your keynote address here to an enormous crowd gathered here at the Esports Arena. I know you talk in front of a lot of different audiences, but how'd today go for you?
It was awesome. And what an incredible venue that the Esports Arena is. Just to see all of this, and man, it is first class in every way. Matt Wilson, those guys are just over the top. But man, to have coaches from across the state of Texas, not just in the DFW area, who have come up to say, hey, I want to grow as a leader. It shows their commitment to the profession, to their craft. And to get to share today, I get to talk about a really difficult topic, and that is sportsmanship. And we've seen the rise of issues from player ejections, fan ejections, a decrease in the quality of relationships between officials and coaches. And so to bring up an uncomfortable conversation and to say that if it's going to be better, it's going to start with us. It's going to start with coaches. And so to really have that uncomfortable conversation was very well received. And it's one of those that, and it's what I love about coaches, is we don't have to shy away from hard things. But instead, those hard things are things that are going to make us better. And so they leaned in, very receptive, and it's going to be an exciting thing to talk about over the next year as we start working towards helping to solve that issue.
You talk to different groups all across the state, and really all across the country. This is a group here gathered that are, you mentioned, all across the state, but also all different backgrounds. They're also all different sports. Each of these schools are in different situations. Can you kind of tell me a little bit about the challenges that has to talking to an audience like that, but also maybe the opportunities that represents?
So as you think about, the Texas High School Coaches Association, for the longest time, it was the Good Old Boys Club. It was a Texas Football Coaches Association. And the work that the association, Coach Martin, and all of the staff have done over the last few years, they've worked so intentionally to make it truly an association for all coaches. And this event represents that. And so we've got to be mindful to not just use football examples. And even though all of the other sport coaches are smart enough to make those connections, it's a matter of respect and showing respect to the hours they put in and the sacrifice that they make to say, your sport is no less than any other. And so you want to be intentional about your language, and then to see the way that the association is very intentional with who the speakers are. And so you start to see speakers like Coach Harris. You start to see speakers that represent different sports, and they represent both physically and in the sport that they coach and the backgrounds they come from, what the association represents, which is all coaches across the state of Texas. And so it's been a challenge, but the growth that has happened in the last 3 or 4 years has been phenomenal. And the exciting part is that the growth is not done. It's going to continue to evolve and to look more and more just like the coaches in the state of Texas.
And somebody who kind of views the THSCA from the outside as well, I'll tell you that one of the places that I feel like the THSCA has really made enormous strides. I feel like you see more women in this audience than you've ever seen before at there, and I know that that's been an intentional part of what the THSCA has tried to do, expanding that footprint. But from up there on the stage, I'm sure you can see that as well.
Absolutely. So you see more women in the crowd. You see more women joining the association. And as you walk around at coaching school, you see more and more women. You have now, I think this year there'll be not one but 2 volleyball courts. Don't quote me on that, but definitely the volleyball court, the basketball court. So you're seeing all of these sports represented. Every sport that competes in Texas will have at least 12 hours of continuing education at coaching school. Every single sport. You see the women in coaching panel has been elevated to be on par with the D1 coaches panel. So it's not just the big dogs from football schools in Texas. Now you're bringing in the Judy Conrads of the world, those who have the equal status in women's sports, to come and to let that be on par. And so those things are just really important, because women coaches and coaches of female sports are every bit as important as football coaches. There's not a tier level. A coach is a coach, a kid is a kid, and the work they do absolutely matters.
And finally, kind of to wrap you up, that you've really grown along with this organization and the relationship that you have with this organization. What keeps you coming back to stay involved with an organization like the THSCA?
I mean, I said it when I walked on the stage, that this is a room full of my heroes, of my people, that wake up every day and give their very, very best in service of high school athletes and middle school athletes. And I am here for anybody that's about that. I knew from an early age that I was going to work with high school athletes. I didn't know what it was going to look like. I didn't know the path that I would take. Could have never guessed this, but just call it the way God made me. But there was just something inside me that said, I'm going to work with students. And these people have that same passion. And so, man, I want to do everything I can do to give the very best of me in service of them as they help and serve kids. So.
Were you more nervous going out there on that stage, or were you more nervous about this interview?
Listen, I was really nervous to meet the WTF ladies. Look, I mean, I see them online, we've talked and stuff, but like to meet them in person, like, listen, I may be 6'1", 290, but I'm just a giant middle school kid. So
exhilarating, right?
It's very exciting right now.
Mackey, appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks, bud.
I feel like bustin' loose, bustin' loose. Come on, get on up. Oh yeah, get on up. Bustin' loose when you wanna sing. Bustin' loose, baby, do your thing. Talking about bustin' loose, yeah.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support, virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well Texas. We're glad you're here.
Wing is the largest residential drone delivery provider in the world, delivering to your home in less than 30 minutes. Order using an app just like other popular delivery services, and Wing's automated drone takes care of the rest. It's fast, safe, and sustainable, and it's now delivering to parts of Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. You can learn more at wing.com/TexasFootball. Again, that's wing.com/TexasFootball.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texans love doing business with fellow Texans. VCR Now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR Now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
There is Stephen Mackey, our friend from 2Words, the character coach who is partner with the THSCA. Caught up with him at the THSCA Leadership Summit last week. We appreciate his time, as always. We are Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at GCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Coming up here in just a moment, we answer your questions in Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday. Get those questions in on Facebook and YouTube. We'll get to as many as we can after this brief commercial break.
I already did the commercials.
You ran the commercials?
Yeah, I told you that.
No, you didn't.
Yes,
There's
I
no way
did.
You told me that.
I did. I said, I'm just going to go straight into the commercials.
And we're back from commercials. And it's time for another commercial in the form of a live read for Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday.
The North Texas Helpful Honda dealers want to help you score on award-winning Hondas. Visit ntxhondadealers.com today or visit your local North Texas Honda dealers to learn more.
Yeah, like the rugged and reliable
2024 Honda Ridgeline. Yeah.
Love it.
If you see one of those, please roll down your window and scream, "Helpful!"
Just scream the word helpful.
Hey, you're rugged and reliable.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Get your questions in Facebook and YouTube. You are, while the questions are coming in, while you're gathering them, you are going to the rodeo tonight.
I am.
Correct? You're going to the rodeo.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Because last time you tried to go to the rodeo, you got sick.
Yeah, dude. I had food poisoning from crawfish. That was a terrible experience. I got the extra spicy crawfish, too, so that made it no better.
Ooh, buddy.
That made it no
That's
better.
tough.
I was crying.
Yeah, that's a tough scene there.
That's when I knew Brian was the one, when he volunteered to help me die from crawfish food poisoning.
Help you die?
It just make sure I didn't, fully die.
Oh, help you keep
Like,
you from
dying, yeah.
Dying. That's a much easier, much better way to put that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that was it. And instead of yours, he was the one who kept shoveling crawfish into my mouth as I was puking. That would have been much tougher.
No, not good.
We are, another thing, go on the NFHS network and watch basketball. There's basketball going on, including tomorrow. Tomorrow, if you just turn on the basketball state championship games tomorrow, you will have a snootful of the Dave Campbell's Texas football crew and the Dave Campbell's Texas basketball crew. On a couple of the games, Craig Way, our friend from Two's Ways,
Tuesdays.
will be joined by color commentator Ishmael Johnson.
Yeah, anytime you get to call a game with Craig, that's high up on
It is a
anyone's
treat.
bucket list.
I've done it. It's awesome. I can highly recommend calling
Yeah.
a game with Craig Way.
Especially Ish grew up in Austin too,
Yeah.
so
Oh, yeah.
anybody that grew up down there, you've been listening to him since you were knee high,
Yeah, Absolutely. The other one that I want, and I don't know which games they're doing, so correct me.
I can tell you.
Matt Stepp,
Yeah.
Everman legend, and Trinity Valley. You go to Trinity Valley?
Yep.
Yeah, Trinity Valley.
JUCO.
Community college or junior college basketball legend Matt Stepp will be hopping on color commentary as well. I'm gonna be locked in. I got nothing to do tomorrow. I'm gonna ignore my kids. It'll be great. I'm gonna lock in and just listen to Ish and
Yeah, so Step is hopping on the 3A game at 10 a.m. Gavin Murrance on play-by-play, Matt Step on color, Trevor Bullard on sideline, and then Step will be back with that same crew for the 3 p.m. game. That's the 5A game. Craig and Ish will be joined by Tommy for the 4A game, Tommy Yarish, our good friend, and the 6A game will be joined by Gavin on the sideline.
Okay.
So big doings down there.
Make sure you check that out on NFHS Network. That's where we're going to be scattered hither and yon across the state of Texas. Do we have any questions from the people?
We sure do. Okay, let's go with, can y'all give a brief breakdown on what you think is the most interesting inner city districts this coming year and how you think that they will shape out?
So a lot of that kind of depends on how you kind of view, like, what you consider to be an inner city district, right? And I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm just saying that from that perspective, like, it kind of depends on what you mean by inner city. Like, for example, is District 11 6A an inner city district?
Yeah,
It's got Dallas skyline in it, right? I mean, I probably wouldn't call it that.
No, I wouldn't
you call
either.
it kind of outside of the those types of things.
So I think you're looking at probably more like a Houston, mainly comprised of that. Houston ISD, Austin ISD, Dallas ISD.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a couple that
San Antonio.
Yeah. And again, this is kind of on the periphery, and I wouldn't call it like inner city. If you want to go to San Antonio, I'm really interested. I've said this before, District 13, 5A, Division 2.
Yeah.
That is the district that it has Bernie and Kerrville-Tivy, but it also has Alamo Heights, it has Harlandale, it has McCollum, kind of from the San Antonio area. Other districts that I would say that, again, it's a lot of it depends on what you consider to be inner city. There's a couple of there's a Dallas ISD district. I'm trying to find out the number real quick that I'm particularly interested in. It is, you're listening to live coverage of me trying to find what district that is. I'm very interested in 8-4A Division 1. 8-4A Division 1 is kind of that old school Dallas ISD district where they're all kind of piling in to the same district in 8-4A Division 1. You've got Carter, who's moving over from District 7. Conrad and Kimball drop down from Division 2. Lincoln moves up from 5A Division 2. Lincoln moves up from 4A Division 2 as well. Plus, you've got Wilmer Hutchins. I think that's going to be a really intriguing district to keep an eye on as far as, inner city districts are concerned. Again, I'm not trying to parse, but, like, for example, South Oak Cliff is probably going to run through the district. 5A Division 2. The second best team in that district is probably Seagoville, right? I mean,
yeah.
Because Kimball's leaving.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an interesting. I would say that if there's one district in the inner city that I'm most interested in, it would probably be 7-4 Division 1, 6-4 Division 1, whatever I said. The Dallas Carter, Kimball district. You're getting kind of the Oak Cliff Super Bowl back together in a district play. So I think that will be a lot of fun. That would be the one that I would lean most towards. What's next?
TJ Hudson said, I would love to know y'all's way too early state champs for next year, which is
Me too.
So hard to choose. But I guess, like, an easier way to answer that question would be, do we think anybody can repeat next year?
So who are the most likely to repeat? Probably the best way to go through.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I will say this. I think DeSoto is going to start as a pretty big favorite to win 6A Division 2 again. And they will be 6A Division 2. There's no doubt about it. They're the smallest team. They're going to be a 5A Division 1 school. They opted out. So they will be 6A Division 2. They'll be a pretty clear favorite to win 6A Division 2.
Which is just so funny because there were so many teams, there were a handful of teams this year going for a three-peat, and none of them accomplished it. Yeah. So it's like, I keep going, oh yeah, no, I think DeSoto's the clear favorite. And then I go, but man, we just saw how hard that really is to do.
I mean, it's hard to pick against Toledo in 5A Division 1.
Yeah.
I do think 5A Division 1 got an upgrade, even with, like, losing teams like Longview, but I think that it's going to be a very tough classification. But I think, like, you would be silly.
They lost Longview, Lancaster, and Forney.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, all out of that, what was 7 5A Division 1.
All of Region 2, yeah. So I would say, like, you're kind of a fool to pick against Toledo, right? I am very big on the I was saying for Division 2, like Carthage was. We all talked about how young they were, right? They're gonna be back in a big way, but Gilmer's not going away quietly.
You know who else? And I know that they didn't win it last year, but I would be shocked if Chapel Hill wasn't competing for another
Chapel
one.
Hill's gonna
I
be
think
back in that mix.
with Demetrius Brisbane coming back and Ricky Stewart, especially with, I'm sorry, they got embarrassed in the state championship
Yeah.
last year.
No, they got-
I
they
think
got-
you want
they
to
got-
talk about fuel and fire
Yeah,
in those guys' senior year.
Yeah, I mean they got shut out in a state championship game for a team that was scoring 40-something points a game. I'm kind of running.
I'm interested to see what Gunner, like how Gunner's one of those that always just reloads. I'm interested to see what they bring in.
The question on Gunner is, in my opinion, is going to be just how important was Walker Overman to that whole machine, because he's gone. It sounds like Preston Tarpley is likely to be the new quarterback, and like certainly he's grown up in the system, so he understands it. They're not going to go from like state champion to like 5-5. I'll say that.
Absolutely not.
The question is going to be like, what does Canadian look like, and things like that, per usual. 3A D1, the champion was I called the game. Who beat Franklin?
Malakoff.
Malakoff's interesting. Malakoff graduates a couple of key pieces, but they bring back
Who?
the quarterback. Bring back Mike Jones. He'll be very interesting to watch. They'll be interesting. 2A, the state champs were Albany. Albany's interesting because
they could go for the three-peat.
graduate pretty heavy.
Yeah,
lose
losing Adam Hill
is he was so important. But they bring back the quarterback. They bring back Chip Chambers. I'm interested in him. That's 2A Division 2. 2A Division 1 state champion was Timpson. And Timpson's fascinating because they lose
the guy. And they also lose their coach.
They lose their coach. But J.J. Garner's back. And like
is Vosky's back, or was he a senior?
He was not a senior. But we will see, or was he a senior? Maybe.
I can't remember.
I need to remember. And I know J.J. Garner was an underclassman.
Yeah. I thought Vosky was a junior, but I could be wrong.
Well, and then there's Benjamin. And Benjamin is going to be, in 1A Division 2.
Grayson Rigdon.
They got Grayson Rigdon.
Part 4.
Exactly right. Grayson Rigdon going for finishing an undefeated season, or undefeated career, rather. It'll be fascinating to see that. Gordon, I think, is going to be really good, too. We talked about that.
Yeah.
When that 1A Division 1 state championship was going on, in talking with folks around the six-man community, they said this is either the last chapter of the Westbrook dynasty, or it's the first chapter of the Gordon dynasty, because Gordon was so young.
Yeah,
so
they were very young.
I would say if you're talking about two teams, I mean, Benjamin's going to be so good too because they got the guy. If you were asking me right now who are two teams that you would feel pretty good on March 8th saying, I expect them to at least play for a state championship, I'd go with DeSoto and I'd go with Gordon. Those would be my two picks.
I like that. I would agree with that.
I hope that's a thorough breakdown. All right, what's next?
This is I love this question.
Okay.
Here's a hypothetical for you. If they build the bullet train from Houston to Dallas, which has been in talks for literally ever, would districts change? Could you see a 7A created? Teams would be able to get to Houston quicker than most in the state. That rocks. That's an awesome hypothetical. Like, let's get weird.
It's interesting. No.
That rocks.
No, because it's not just... It's Dallas and Houston, yes, are the two main thoroughfares. But like I keep telling you, it's like Austin has some 7A teams.
The biggest one is you would need like a bullet train from Odessa to DFW. Like that would be the thing that would have to happen.
Permian's the real,
because Allen and Odessa Permian would have to play.
Right. Yeah, they'd have to play.
And they would be in the same region.
I will say this. I do not think that the availability of public transit is what's holding back the UIL from doing 7A.
But it rocks.
It does in fact rock.
Also, I would love if there was a bullet train from Dallas to Houston.
From a me perspective.
Yeah. You know how much easier that would make Texan life?
I'd love to. And I'd love to just sit back for 90 minutes, an hour, or something like that, and just sit back and take a nap. It'd be awesome.
It would be so great.
It's why I want them to figure out self-driving cars, just so I can sleep.
Well, apparently they're doing that. There's 18-wheelers now that are doing the self-driving thing. Bullet trains need to be a thing.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm a big fan of the bullet train.
Yeah, I mean, other countries have them. Why can't we?
Yeah.
Silly.
Silly.
We're too car dependent, guys.
Yeah.
Read Read Strong Towns by Chuck Maroon. It's a great book. It's about we're
City Planner,
we're back
Greg
on our
Tepper,
urban
unlocked.
planning bit. That's right. We're back on our bullsh. Go read Chuck Maroon's book Strong Towns. Okay. You got one more?
Could you kick a 30-yard field goal?
Okay, what is the and you've been down there.
25.
25 is the kick for cash at
I
the state
think so.
championships?
Yeah.
So it's a 25-yard. Is it 25 or is it an extra point? It's not an extra point, is it? 'Cause the extra point would be 20.
Maybe. Shoot, I can't remember where they line it up. I'm pretty sure they line them up at the 15.
Okay, then that's a 25.
So it would be
25.
25. I think it's 25.
So 30, longer than that. Because basically, what would you say? Because I would tell you that, especially because here's the thing for the kick for cash. Okay, something we've noticed as somebody who has now watched like 48 state championship games in the last 4 years,
Yeah.
and seen, I guess, 96 kicks for cash. As the classifications get bigger, the kickers get better because they start finding like a
Soccer
ringer.
players.
Find a soccer player. They find when they've got a team, or when a team brings out what is very clearly the keeper on the girls soccer team, you're just like, this is money. She's gonna pipe this thing.
Yeah, no, and I mean, soccer in the UIL is 6A to 4A. So it's like you don't see kids come out there that are soccer players until you get up to the 4A games.
So
or maybe they play select, but it's so hard.
With all due respect, Gordon might be rolling out some dude who rolls up in cowboy boots. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But what would you say is the conversion rate for those, like, of the kick for cash? 50%? Maybe a little higher?
Right around 50, I think.
Okay, right around 50%.
Because it was funny, this year we actually had a lot more of the smaller classification people do it than the larger classification. But yeah, I think we went about maybe 60% this year.
Okay. Okay. So then we got to move 5 yards back. I got to be honest, I'm not worried about the distance. I'm not worried about going from 25 to 30.
No,
I don't
mine's
think that's going to be a deal breaker.
No.
I think if you're asking me, can I kick a football 30 yards in the air?
Yes.
The answer is yes.
But I don't think I can do it straight.
Yeah, that's the question. The question is going to be, I think if you give me 3 chances, I'll make 1.
Yeah, I was going to say, give me 5 chances. So I never, I grew up in a small town. We did not have soccer. Llano High School does not have a soccer team. So I've never, that and softball are the only 2 sports that I never played growing up. And so I don't have much confidence with my feet. Like, I'm not good with that. I can play just about any sports that you need your hands, but not my feet. So I think I would need 5 chances, and I could maybe make 1.
Here's the thing. This is doable.
Oh, yeah. No, we could absolutely do this.
We can go, Coppell High School is down the street from our office.
We should have a GCTF
Kickoff.
Ba-dum-tsh.
We should do it.
I
mean, here's the thing, we're all remote.
I don't know who honestly would be the best at that.
Well,
maybe
who's the most athletic?
Yeah, but I don't think,
staff?
honestly, I'm
It's
going to be
not
real honest,
athleticism.
I don't think athleticism has much to do with
then
that.
here's a question. Mallory's yoked, right?
Yeah.
We all agree. Do you think she'd be good at it?
Maybe.
Because the weird thing is she's a gymnast, but she's not coordinated.
Yeah, she could probably, when it comes to actual leg motion, since she is, really flexible, gymnast-oriented, that's probably the best. I'd probably pull my back is what I'm worried about. I think Rob is pretty good at kicking field goals because
this was 10 years ago, but I have seen him kick field goals.
Yeah, he does. He's the guy that sets up all the kick for cash, so he does it all the time. I say all the time. He does it at least once a year, which is more than most of us. Hi, Ava.
Will.
I honestly would say Ish, because I feel like Ish has maybe gone out and played soccer more than anybody.
Maybe.
Oh, also, I do know this. Ish kicks himself for not trying to be a walk-on at Texas State for a punter. Mm-hmm. He can punt the ball like nobody's business. So I feel like that might translate. Ish would be my probably pick to win a kickoff competition.
Okay, Ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I might go with Will.
I think Will's got a bad back.
He's got a bad back, you're right.
Yeah, no. Back. Love Will to
Carter.
death.
What about Bray?
Oh, Bray. Yeah.
What about Braylon?
I just feel like Bray would win every single athletic competition because he's 22 fit bruh.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true.
He's just, it's not a fair competition. We're old. And if you're not old, a lot of us have a bad back.
Honestly, this is something we need to do. We need to put this on our to-do list.
Okay.
We're going to do a DCTF kickoff.
This summer. We did a spiral competition at
7
which you horribly lost.
I was never taught how to throw a football. That's true.
You
I was never taught.
You horribly
Oh, yeah.
lost.
It was a duck.
It
I
was.
was never taught how to throw a football. Got there, though.
Yeah,
You
kind
know
of.
why?
Chase Snyder off our Texan Live team can throw a ridiculously good spiral.
Yeah. I was just never taught. I was a lineman. Why did I need to throw the ball?
That's very true. You know, throw what you know.
Throw what you know, baby.
Get your hands in the dirt.
That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook. Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram. Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Thanks again to our friend Stephen Mackey for being our guest. For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please get your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you Monday on Texas Football Today.